Hello and welcome to the Whizzbang Podcast. I'm your host, Brad Goodall. On this podcast, we're going to be talking to musicians. We're going to be talking to music business people. We're going to be talking to anybody involved with our little scene here. My guest today is a drummer, singer-songwriter, touring and recording musician, Bosphorus artist, Rodney Elkins. Welcome to the podcast.
Hey, baby, thanks for having me.
Yeah, good to be here. Good to have you here, I should say. I got to get used to feeling like I'm in the room with you. What's going on, man? How you feeling?
I'm feeling good, man. How you feeling?
I'm good. I'm getting used to being a podcast host.
Hey,
it's working for me.
You're killing it.
Thank you. Man, what'd you do today?
Today, just hung out with my homies, and we were working on a little project, and then just, hung out and came here.
You're working on an album. If you're talking about the album I'm thinking of, you're working on an album with your project El Dorado. Is that right?
Oh, I don't know what you're talking about. I know those guys, but it's like,
It's sort of it's like, I don't know. It's
Yeah,
iffy, right?
yeah.
You don't trust them.
Yeah, I don't trust them. I met them once, they seem all right.
These aren't people you've been jamming with
Yeah.
your whole life or anything.
I think they got a record coming out soon.
Right.
Yeah. So
This is under wraps. Am I pushing something I shouldn't be saying?
stay tuned, baby.
Okay, that's all I need to know. I didn't say nothing. By the time this is out, your record will be on the top of the charts anyway. We don't got to worry about that.
Coming out gold, baby.
Yeah, man. Take me back just a little bit, because I know, first and foremost, you've exposed me to so much good classic country music. But where do your roots begin picking up the instrument? Let's start with just the drums. How'd you get to it?
It started at home. My dad, he's a guitar picker, country guitar picker, and he's played with Tennessee Ernie Ford and Tom T. Hall. Nothing crazy. It's like a few shows, but he's had his own band with his brothers. I have an identical twin uncle to my dad that is he played bass, and then their other brother, my Uncle Dave, would sing and play guitar, and then they filled it out with drums and steel. And I grew up listening to Waylon and Merle and everything like that. And
The good stuff.
The good stuff. Yeah, none of that crap today. And I got into school band, and when I was like 12 years old, I've always been fascinated with the drums. I'd go watch them play when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Like the firehouses and different VFWs and stuff.
The family band gigs that they were doing at the time.
Yeah. So it was comprised of mostly family. There's been, my Uncle Ronnie moved away for a while. He's in Florida, so there's some other members and stuff at different points. But, I was always just fascinated with drums, and he finally got me a set of drums and just been in love with it.
Well, like 8th grade, 9th grade, something like that?
Oh, baby, 5th grade.
Okay. I honestly didn't know that. I've known you for a long time. I didn't know you started playing drums in 5th grade.
96.
I had no idea. 96.
Mm-hmm.
I was just a tot.
I was 8 years old.
I would have been, 5 years old?
Yeah. I learned, first beat I learned was That Thing You Do. When the Tom Hanks movie came out.
Okay.
About the band in the 60s, and they're a one-hit wonder.
Okay.
Yeah, I learned that drum beat, that intro. It's like boom, ka ka, boom, ka boom, boom.
Nice and straightforward. That kind of influences your, you still play like that a little bit today. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I do.
The first beat I always learn, I feel like everybody who sits down on a drum kit is boom, ka, 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 boom, ka, boom, ka, 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 boom, ka. And it's the beat everybody sits down, who doesn't play the drums, that's the beat they play.
That's a comfort zone, man.
That's a nice little, you must hate that beat
man,
as a real drummer.
I pull it out sometimes, and it's like, I do think about it, like, man, you're doing that beat.
You're doing the A1 beat. You're doing day one, 101 beat.
Exactly. You're doing rock essentials.
Right. But you played in high school. You had a band in high school, right?
Yeah, El Dorado.
El Dorado.
Yeah, baby.
They might still be around. Who knows about them? They might still be cooking.
I don't know. I haven't seen them in a long time.
I haven't heard about El Dorado in a while. They might be doing something.
Yeah, they do.
We don't know.
Yeah, we'll see.
I gotcha. Tell me about when you met Craig Burletic.
Oh, Craig Burletic.
Who, for some context, shares your rhythm section and Tyler Childers' touring band.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah.
Tightest rhythm section in country music.
That's right.
I actually met Craig 10th grade.
10th grade.
We had math class together, and I was wearing Western shirts all the time. I had Vaseline in my hair because I really wanted to be Elvis Presley.
Vaseline?
Yeah.
That's something that people do?
I don't know. I did it. because it was like
the true original.
It slicked it, bro. It slicked it.
I bet it worked. It's so thick.
I was smoking Marlboro Reds.
Okay.
Wearing wingtip shoes and just
Man.
like really into like the Ventures and 50s doo-wop and shit at the time.
You were playing the role
Yeah.
of like 50s rocker?
Ish, yeah, like the country western greaser, I guess you could say, if you want to really narrow it down.
Okay.
But yeah, had sideburns and shit, and he was like better at math than I was, and I was trying to copy off of him, and he was just like, "Man, I'll show you how to do it, but I ain't gonna give you the answers." I was like, "Bro, just tell me what the answers are."
Two musicians bonding over math. You ever hear that story?
And then I found out he played bass, and I needed a bass player.
Right.
And we started jamming with some other people, and I was like, he's like, "You ever heard of Merle Haggard? You ever heard of Waylon Jennings?" Like,
Showing
this
him
kind of stuff I'm into.
Showing him your background.
Yeah, and he was into like Slipknot and stuff at the time.
Right.
So we did the talent show together.
Right.
10th grade year and 12th grade. He'll tell you I fired him in 11th grade, but that's not true. I didn't know you could play two gigs at once then, and he was already playing with somebody else in 11th grade, so I got somebody else for that one. But we played Fast as You, 10th grade talent show, got second place.
Second place.
Yeah, and he got he bought a cowboy hat for it.
Wow.
And that might have been when senior year we did it again, and we got first place.
You got first place that year.
And I also got first place junior year, but that's neither here nor there.
Okay, I got you.
But he bought a cowboy hat, and it's like later on in college, we were in college together, jazz department.
Mm-hmm.
He was playing with James Barker, who we also went to school with in high school and played together in like jazz band.
Also ended up in the same band that you're in now.
Yeah. So we started out as Debbie's and Barkers as a rock trio because they got rid of their drummer. Craig comes up to me and asks me to play, and that's kind of how we started being a trio.
And that's how it starts.
And then Tyler started coming around, and we started hanging out with him.
He heard that backbeat. He heard that backbeat and said,
"Shoot,
I want a piece of that."
Shoot.
That's what happened.
Shoot.
Come on, tell him. That's
it was
what
more
happened.
like me being like, "You need a band, brother." And he's like, "I don't know about that." I was like, "No, seriously."
Yeah, it was
like,
you
listen to
convincing
me.
Please, hey man, please can I play drums
Please
for you?
can I play drums? Could we just play for you? Like this will work out.
I don't know if I believe that entirely. We have shared experiences. We were in the same jazz music department together, and also the other character you mentioned, Craig Berletic. We were in college the same time. And I remember I would say this today, but it was always just, it was as easy as a cup of coffee to play music with you, Rodney. It's just easy, man.
Likewise, man.
It's just easy.
You're inspiring when you play.
Thank you. That's very nice.
Yeah,
thank you.
You're welcome.
Ditto to you. Man, like where are you at like right now as far as like the drums and like where do you want to like, where are you at with like your practicing? Like how are you thinking about the drums? Like where do you want to take your instrument right now?
Man, I want to take it to the best of my possible abilities and just try to get better every day. It's a struggle every day, but I wish it would happen faster. Honestly,
Same.
Like it's aggravating.
Yeah.
Sometimes, and like I try to work at it every day.
Yeah.
I'm always going out to the studio and like trying to like film different things and like it's real novice stuff, but it's like learning a song, like learning 2 or 3 songs every week that I have to like perform is like kind of where I'm at.
Your standards of what you want to achieve in a week are triple what mine are. Learning 2 or 3 songs in a week, I would be lucky to learn 2 or 3 songs in like 3 months.
Yeah, well, I told you it's going too slow.
if that's too slow for you, I'm never gonna make it because that's ridiculous.
Well, it's probably I put too much pressure on myself, but it really is like I want to be good, man. I want to be the best drummer that plays a song without ego.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that Steve Gadd One Trick Pony record. Like Paul Simon, when he played on One Trick Pony, Steve Gadd he played every perfect part for each song he played on.
Yeah. I wonder, like, sometimes when you're just alone practicing, you do get hung up on, like, maybe virtuosity or speed or something like that on your instrument, whatever it is. But honestly, the guys who get the most work are the ace part writers and ace executors of said part.
Yeah.
If you can write a really slick part on your instrument and execute it within, an afternoon and you don't eat up too much studio time, like you will get more work than you can.
Slick, not complicated.
Not complicated.
What serves a song? Like it could just be hitting the tom once you know,
And
in this one spot, like on the floor or something. But it's like,
Right.
man, that floor tom, like,
That
just
works.
right there. That
Right.
changes the whole feel.
Right.
But then it comes back around,
Right.
and you know, little stuff like that.
Well, if you're learning that many songs a week, you're probably devouring that kind of information from these great drummers, and then I'm assuming you're just trying to implement it right into what you're doing with other people in your actual real life, right?
Try, and I'm definitely trying to figure out where they're coming from when I learn the songs, and it's like sometimes I worry if I'm doing too much that it won't stick. You know what I mean?
What do you mean?
Like if I do it too fast, I won't absorb the language well.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
I got you.
Like it's like, okay, I did it, now it's done. Next.
Right.
Like, you know, what did I grab out of that, you know?
Okay, so maybe living with the material a little bit longer, that way you actually ingest
Yeah.
what was going on with the part in the song. and
Yeah,
all that.
exactly. It's like kind of trying to be a sponge, but of Andre the Giant squeezing that sponge out. So all the water that comes out, you know, after that first squeeze, like what's left.
I got
Like
you.
I want it to still be wet in that regard. You know what I mean?
I got you. I totally get what you're saying, man. Tell me a little bit about on a different subject. Tell me a little bit about your touring schedule over the last 4 years and how you dealt with all that. I mean, this is obviously we're talking about practice a little bit. Like playing every night is kind of the best practice in some ways, getting that experience under your belt. How do you feel like your drumming and musicianship has changed over being on the road as much as you were in Tyler Childers' band, and what that did or didn't do for you?
Crisped me up.
Crisped you up.
Crisped
I
me
love
up,
that.
bro. Seriously. I mean, you know, night after night, Tyler put it best one time. We were talking about it, and it was always like, say you got a 4-week, 6-week tour,
Mm-hmm.
and, you know, that first week's all exciting. Bubbies are back together.
Right.
We're playing, you know, big
Yeah.
shows,
Yeah.
all that stuff. And then it's like the grind happens.
It
know?
shifts over in that 3-week mark. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm at a job now.
Yeah, exactly. It's like sleep, rinse, repeat, bro. You know?
Well done.
Little,
well said.
Yeah. And it is just like every day's the same. It's like Groundhog Day.
Yeah.
You know, but you find the happiness in it because you're playing.
Yeah, you do get that muscle memory, though, as far as just like we're talking about, like a part executor. Like, just can I hit my marks, like almost like Broadway or something? I'm going to step onto this mark, and I'm going to say my line so everybody can hear. You do kind of, when you play every night like that, don't you feel like it does kind of, obviously a tour gets better as it goes on, but like it'll affect your chops too. Like you end up becoming, like you said, crisper because of that repetition.
Yeah, and no one's perfect, so you know there's going to be some nights where you're not
Sure.
like,
Of course.
you know, it's a chemistry between 6 people.
Yeah.
You know, in our case, it's
That's a
6
big
people.
band too.
Yeah, and it's like, you know, something's going to affect someone differently every day in whatever city. You know, like,
Yep.
you know, traveling's just hard on you.
Yeah.
And like switching time zones and stuff like that all the time.
Mhm.
And like everybody's going to feel different. It's going to affect everyone differently. And that
Right.
comes through your playing through no one's fault of their own. Like we all care about it and we all want to do our best. But, you know,
Of course.
it's like no one's perfect and it's going to be the way it is.
Right.
And you just you try to hold on to that happiness that you're still just there playing with everyone.
Yeah.
And then that's when, so after the grind happens about halfway through, then you get re-inspired again.
Yeah.
Toward like the back half of it, and you're like, "This is great! Like
Also,
I love these guys."
The light at the end of the tunnel too. Like, all I got to do is play like 6 more shows.
Like I'm going home in 6.
I don't have to conserve any more energy for the rest of this tour. So let's just burn it out.
Mhm.
These last 6 shows, let's just go crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah, that is kind of the emotional arc of a tour a little
yeah,
bit.
yeah. And it's like, you know, you're not always gonna feel like playing every night. You know, some nights you
Sure.
feel like, man, I wish I could just, you know, sleep or something.
Yeah. Wish you
know?
could just go to a movie and go to a
Yeah.
sushi restaurant
Yeah.
and just lay down.
Yeah, but at the same time, I don't want to do anything else.
Yeah, what else would you be doing?
Nothing.
Exactly.
Nothing, man.
Exactly.
I can't do anything else.
Right.
I don't know how.
Yeah, man. That's a perfect spot to end. Rodney Elkins doesn't know anything else he would be doing right now with his life.
Yo.
He's in a perfect position. Does that sound about right?
Perfect position, man.
Thanks for coming by, Rodney.
Hey, thanks for having me, brother.